ministers that were happy to go along with the direction of travel. I mean, my goodness, they come into office, what was it, the 6th of July? And already have done a deal in relation to Chagossians. And I think that, in and of itself, shows you that this deal was already there and it was pushed then by the Foreign Office mandarins, and something that I have to say I really, really regret. And now we have the Prime Minister telling us actually if foreign migrants come to the Chagossian Islands, where are they going to go? They're going to go to another British overseas. Did you ever hear anything so ridiculous in all your life? So we're gonna, it has to be the worst deal in the history of bad deals that governments have done. So we're going to hand over to the Mauritian government the Chagos Islands. Oh, and by the way, we're going to buy back a lease. We're going to pay you to get a lease for 99 years. Sorry. That's a bit strange, is it not? But I do want to reassure you that there are a lot of friends across Parliament, across different parties, who are very concerned about what Philip has talked about today. A treaty now has to come to the floor of the House of Commons and the House of Lords, and we will be looking at that treaty in great detail. Because some of the questions that were asked in Parliament, if they didn't want to answer them, they said, oh, that detail will be in the treaty. That will be in the treaty. So we will see what's in the treaty when it comes. And I want to reassure you that we will be with you, and we look forward to the gathering on the 12th of November, when we will send a very, very strong message to government. I do people haven't listened to you in government, they haven't asked you in government. We want to hear from you tonight, and we want to hear your voices, and we want them to be amplified out there. So thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arlene. And suffice to say, I think we can have a few questions, but before we do, I'm just going to ask if you may come forward, Ms. Lee. I think most of you will know this man. Ms. Lee, obviously, we're here tonight, we're a platform, we do not, and I want to emphasise this, too many groups can say they speak for this group or speak for Chagossians. We want Chagossians to speak for themselves. We are simply here to be your friend and support.
So I was visiting a school that David Lammy was going to be visiting that day, and I happened to message Philip and say, do you know, I'm happening to be seeing David Lammy today. Now, clearly the visit was about education. However, when we were in the head teacher's office having coffee, I said to him, gosh, David, you're having a really hard...
You did it to me,
I said, gosh, you're having a really hard time at the moment, aren't you? He said, yeah, it's been a tough time. I said, do you know, David, I'm going to be really honest with you. I had never heard of the Chagos Islands until I met about 20 Chagossians at a Friends of the British Overseas Territory event in London. I said, I've only met 20 Chagossians. Clearly, you will have met many, many more than I have. His face went ashen, and he said, clearly a lot of work to be done, but I think we're on the right track. I had met more Chagossians than the Foreign Secretary had met, and he is handing over the Chagos Islands to Mauritius.
Shameful.
Philip, I'm going to hand it back to you because I could not believe the response he gave to me, but nevertheless the point was made in the context of a little primary school in Tottenham.
Yes, thank you very much.
The UK is responsible for the 5th largest area of oceans owned by any nations and has a duty to protect this area. The UK overseas territories are very important. They harbour 94% of all the UK biodiversity, and the government is called upon to protect these overseas areas and this biodiversity. The world's largest marine reserve in Chagos is 640,000 kilometres square. That's about the area of France, and it's a wilderness.